Hey Juan, how you doing today?
Hey, hi, Paul. It's a pleasure to see you today. How are you?
Yeah, how's it? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I know you're busy with a lot of work and you're a family man, so and plus it's so I really appreciate this time to talk to you. And we haven't seen each other for a while, so tell me what have you been up to?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for talking with me, for your time and interest. Well, we
Yeah,
are all
man.
busy, but it seems
I
like an
know.
excellent idea to talk a little bit about the
Yeah,
country and the reality we live in. So
yeah,
I am
for
very
sure.
thankful with you.
Yeah. So tell me, what have you been doing? I know that you were working for the chamber, for the chancellor.
Well,
What was it? The
okay, well, for just taking the last 5 or 6 years between 2016 and 2019, I devoted myself entirely to a particular diplomacy, that of
Yeah,
parliament and parliamentarians. So not
yeah,
only did I represent the country in multiple international forums, but I also joined and assisted legislators from different political parties in their exchange missions with their peers from around the world. So this activity,
wow,
little known to most people, allows two important things, in my opinion. On one hand, it
yeah,
fosters a national unity because it puts parliamentarians from different political parties to work together to defend the common interests of the country. And on the other hand, it connects us to the world. So this is a very important thing to keep our feet, on the ground. Argentina is one of the 193 sovereign countries recognized by the United Nations. You know that perfectly. The
yeah,
natural thing is that we look at ourselves in the mirror of the world and of those other countries to understand how we are and what happens to us. And the world, the countries, and we individually as human beings are totally interconnected. We talked about that yesterday. So we do
yeah,
not live on another planet. We live on the same planet that we call Earth. So what does
yeah,
the mirror tell us? That what happens to us as a country, as a society, does not happen to all the countries of the world. So
yeah,
that things can be, there are a lot of things that can be done better, that we can
yeah.
live better, that we can aspire to a better future.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that we are not a country in another world, but sometimes Argentina feels like you're in another world, because
Exactly.
some of the things that this is a very rich country, but unfortunately, it's considered a very poor country in the eyes of a lot of people. Especially if you read the news and you read the statistics. 49% of the population is poor, and you're thinking, how can that be with a country so rich in natural resources? It's like it's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
uh it really it's sometimes I talk to people from other countries, and they're like, I explain to them that you have like the 6 different dollar rates and 50% inflation, and you're like, how is that possible, with a country that produces so much and has, like I said, so many natural resources? How do you explain that to people?
Well,
It's
Paul, I think that no one better than you to give your opinion and ask questions about the country, about Argentina, for various reasons. First of all,
yeah,
because unlike those of us who were born in this blessed land, you decided to adopt it as your
yeah,
own. I think that's
yeah,
very important for the people to understand. After being born in the United States, you decided not only to stay and live in Argentina, but also to form a family with an Argentine wife and children. And
yeah,
secondly, I remember our talks in the past, but I have also followed your comments, on social networks. And
yeah,
yeah, sincerely noticed that you are really worried, like all us, sad and angry about the reality of the country. And finally, I recognize you as a great person, Paul, deeply
thank
ethical,
you.
sincere, and with good intentions, like our mutual
Yeah.
friend, Jason Armis, my brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You are
yeah.
you are
Great
both
guy.
amazing people, really.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah, it's interesting you touched on that because yeah, I chose I chose to live here, and I chose to, my wife is Argentine, and I chose to raise, I chose and I choose to raise my kids here.
Exactly.
And for the past couple years I've been really concerned about their future. you know, because I work hard to provide everything I can, you know, there's private schooling, because public schooling, you don't have much of an option,
Exactly.
and so on. So right now, I'm really concerned about their future, because, you know, a lot of people say, hey, man, this country has no future. But I believe that it does have a future, given all its potential, you know, but it's just, it's not, let's say, managed correctly. So that's why it's concerning, you know.
Yeah, yes, Paul. I share your opinion and your feelings. I think most Argentinians we feel the same way. Unfortunately, I have a very pessimistic diagnosis. The future, if we continue doing the same thing with the same inertia, it looks horrible, even worse than today. As you know, I am 52 years old and I have 4 children, including a teenager. So we are parents, and I am very concerned about their future and that of my future grandchildren. I think that that's something common for everybody. Argentina urgently needs to change course. It is a real madness what happens to us, and our country is internationally recognized for its fight for human rights violated during the dark times of military dictatorships. But today, and for decades, our own democratic governments have been openly violating the human rights of millions of Argentines. My vision today is that we are in the Owen, and I know you are going to like this, because I love your videos about the way we talk in Argentina. So the temperature is increasing, and the risk of setting us on fire is really very great. Public policies are a failure. Under the slogan of the universality of rights, we built a national state and some provincial and municipal states supposedly capable of providing all the answers to the citizen. But what happened was the opposite. Public services are of poor quality, and in many cases do not work directly. As you said, Paul, only 25% of the country's public schools students graduate with minimal educational skills, such as knowing how to read and write, not to mention STEM education, which includes science, technology, engineering, and math. It's impossible to think about that in Argentina today. So 75% lack of a decent quality education in Argentina of all students. That's crazy. I'm talking about the public educational system. And 20 million people are currently living in poverty. We are talking about more than 40% of our population. And in some areas like Great Buenos Aires, more than 50, 52, 53, it's crazy. But even more serious, the most affected are young people, since almost 7 out of 10 are poor. That is almost 70% of our kids. And it's other still 5 million people suffer from hunger in a country like Argentina. So it's just over 10% of the population. So the violation of human rights in Argentina is truly dramatic. With regard, for example, to employment, only 49% of the economically active population is informality. The remaining 51% work in the informal sector. So unemployment exceeds 10%, but underemployment is much higher. So I don't know if you know, Paul, that it has been more than 10 years since Argentina has created a single new job in the private sector. That's incredible. So what the rulers do, both at the national level and in the provinces and municipalities, is to solve the problem of unemployment through public employment. So they do not realize that it is the bread, or it is bread for today and hunger for tomorrow. That's another phrase. You can translate.
I'm going to use that. Use that.
Bread for today and hunger for tomorrow. It is loosey public policy. So logically, they do it based on selfish calculations, since what they really seek is to retain people in partisan terms, to build armies of public employees that respond to their selfish aspiration for power. So, and in economic terms, we suffer one of the worst inflations in the world of more than 50% per year. You mentioned that. We are between the 3rd and 5th place in the ranking of countries with the highest inflation in the world. So everything is bad in Argentina. Our currency, the peso, has no value to us. You have a video about that, amazing, from some years ago. So nobody saves in pesos. Our saving currency is the US dollar. What more? In terms of indebtedness, for decades, we have aggravated the situation every year. We went from a debt waiving 30% of gross domestic product in 2011 to more than 100% today. All governments, regardless of political color, contributed to this situation. So logically, the greatest responsibility is for those who rule the most. So the main culprits are Kirchnerismo, which at the end of the current mandate will have completed 16 years in power, and Macrismo also, which ruled for 4 years in a truly terrifying way. It was horrible, their government, horrible really. So I have mentioned data on education, employment, inflation, debt, but you could add more information regarding health, safety, housing, justice, defense, science and technology, and all the other responsibilities that governments must administer. So we are wrong at everything. This does not mean that we do not have extraordinary achievements and examples, but it means that with the resources, that the country has, the results obtained are very poor. It means that we manage badly. Argentina is the only country in the world that went from being one of the world's highest GDP between 1880 and 1921 to almost 40. We were among the 5 richest countries in the world. Sadly, this is a reality that was it is very far away in time, no? But we need to change. So let's talk about hope and about the future, if you want.
Yeah. I wanted to not too long ago, I saw a video that came to me through WhatsApp, and someone put together a video that said that every Argentine that has a job, every Argentine that works legally, maintains or supports 2 Argentines that don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? So apart from you that, you work and I work, I pay my taxes, I work at a school. I've been a teacher for 13 years in a private school. I support not only my kids, but I also support 2 people that are unemployed. Do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think that happens anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. But I tell you what, Kevin, you can see the problem of the crisis, the dramatic reality of our country in different ways and perspectives. One of them is the whole society, and also individually, like you are doing, no? Like half of the population of Argentina pay taxes, work formally, and as you say, we support to the other part of Argentina who are under poverty and in a horrible situation, and they are not going to improve their situation in the way we are doing things. So I think it's important, Paul, in my opinion, to talk a little bit about the present and the future. I think political parties should start talking about, how do you say, about what happened in the past, like criticizes each other. I think what we need is to focus on solutions for problems in particular, and to responses to challenges, because we are living a very incredible, it's unbelievable situation, and of course nobody wants this, but what we have been doing for decades is like getting the country each day worse. So we need to change that, and the way to do it is a new way to govern the country, to function as a society, because the state in countries like Argentina, I mean, when I say state, I'm talking about the 3 levels, right? The national state, the provinces or state, like in your country. You have 2 countries, and the municipalities, no, at local level. So we need to change the way we work as a society, and first of all, the main responsibility is in the hands of the public sector. Okay, sure that's a big problem. So what we need really is, I can give you plenty of examples why we do things incorrectly. If you see the most developed countries in the world, okay, apparently we are similar to them, but when you see the details, you will find all the differences that make at the end a good or bad results. No, so for example, we talk too much in Argentina, but in fact, the things the politicians say are has no, for example, are not based or informed in evidence. So we say things for decades, but we do not analyze, we do not take decisions based or informed on evidence. We do not project, we do not plan, we do not say, for example, we are going to do this with this budget, and our goals and are this, and we are going to get these goals in a period of time, could be 2, 4, 6 years, 10 years, 30 years. No, so we need to plan, not better. We do not plan in Argentina at all. So and we need to measure. We need accountability. We need to see what happened with the measures that we adopt as a society, and then we need to see what functioned and what didn't. And this simple question is not incorporated in our culture. I think in part because we are not, I mean, talking in general, no, to the public sector, we have a public sector and politicians not honest, but not just honest administrating their resources, but all corruption, but also intellectually. We live in a lie. So we have candidates and politicians saying things that are not based in reality. So we are lying ourselves. We are, and not just the politicians, the people, because we understand politics. Some people like sport, like soccer, for example. Well, it's not a soccer. It's our life and the life of our kids and future generations. And the old people are suffering. The kids are suffering. The population is suffering because we are not taking seriously the administration and politics. So yes, we need to change that. And another thing, we need to be disruptive, very disruptive. We need to change the way we do things. We need to implement better. And I can give you plenty of examples. You have a lot of people in Argentina saying, no, the public education in Argentina is amazing. You cannot criticize public education. Oh, I'm so sorry. In our opinion, we need to talk about everything. Everything is wrong. Everything is not functioning. We need to talk about that more than anything else. We are all the time saying no, because we do this very well, because we are the champions of the world. It's a lie. We are not the champions. We are losing everything. We are doing things horrible. We talked a few minutes ago about what happened to our country. So what is happening to our people, to ourselves. So it's important to be honest intellectually, to talk about everything, to be disruptive. So when we recognize the problem, like it happens when you have an ill, we need to see how to change it. And we need immediately responses to that. All right. So, for example, public education, one thing that we are saying, and for decades it was the same, and I give you, for example, an answer. We need to regulate the possibility for the unions in the educational system to strike. No more to negotiate salaries of the public sector with the students out of the schools. That's crazy.
It's incredible. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the salary of the teachers are good. No, of course, probably it's important to fight for better salaries in all sectors, particularly in education. No, I'm not saying that. It's a very important, a decent job, a decent salary, but it's crazy. It's anti-natural that to have teachers and unions, negotiating their salary with the students, paying the cost of that claim. That's completely crazy. So we need to talk about that, and we need to say stop, no more. What else? We have been creating social programs, for example, a lot. Today, the national state signed 22 million checks in social programs and benefits to people, all right, in Argentina, 20 million, all right? So we have been growing up I mean, the social assistance to the poor people. Okay, at the same time, we have been not creating private genuine jobs, and we are talking about two different things. We have the small enterprises, you know, the micro even enterprises, the medium enterprises, who create the genuine jobs, you know, and employment by one hand, and in the other hand we have the state giving money to the people for nothing. It's even something against their dignity, you know. So we are consolidating the poverty in Argentina. That's what we are doing, not just for the fathers, you know, for their kids and for the future generations. We already have 3 generations of poor people that they live subject to public help, assistance, to social
public
assistance.
welfare.
You said that's crazy. So we need to change. For example, we need to change and to like transfer that money, most of that money, to the private sector to create genuine jobs. You know, but like these examples, there are more and more because we do everything wrongly. When I say could sound excessive to say everything, but
almost everything.
Almost. Our public policies are really bad. I can give you plenty of examples. So we need all of this to talk honestly, to talk about everything, particularly to the problems. We need to be disruptive. We need to listen to the people, because we don't need to say this. We just need to ask, you know, like Socrates asking the people, you know, what do you think? Are we okay in Argentina? The people will say, most of them, no, it's horrible what is happening. Are you happy? No, I'm mad. Do you think that public education is working okay? No, it's a disaster. Do you think that employment is okay? No, it's a disaster. The people will say that. So we don't need to say it. We just need to listen to the people and do things differently. I'm sorry.
It's amazing that a bus driver makes more than a teacher. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of the union.
Exactly.
I guess. Also, I think that Argentina is living in the past. And also, I feel that every political and economic and every decision that is taken is spontaneous. Like you said, there's no plan. It's like, okay, now we have this situation. What do we do? Okay, no. Let's do something. Anything. Let's do something just to get the potatoes out of the fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel that there is no plan. There's no real plan. I see that, when the elections come around, everything, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do, but how? You understand? There's no how.
Paul, there are ways to do things better and to change the direction of the country. Be sure about that. I agree with everything you are saying, everything. And I can give you an answer if you want my opinion.
Yeah, I believe education and health are primordial. I mean, they're fundamental. Without education, people don't know how to think. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to someone he never finished grade school, forget about high school, and you talk to this person, what can you talk about? Can you explain common sense to someone who has no sense at all? And it's not their fault, because they're not getting educated. I believe there should be some kind of social program where you can teach somebody a trade. I see, I live in the city, and there are people going through the trash all the time, young people. If you get this young person, say, hey, listen, I'm going to teach you how to mix cement. I'm going to teach you how to build a wall. I'm going to teach you how to fix an electrical outlet. These are called trades. You know what I'm saying? And there should be some kind of public plan to say, hey, man, you're a young kid. I'm going to teach you how to build, how to fix, how to do plumbing, a trade. You know what I'm saying? A trade is an oficio.
Yes, but
you know what I'm saying? But you need to, but I don't know. That's what I would do. Teach people how to read, how to write, how to build.
But yes, I agree with everything you are saying. But those kind of programs exist. The problem is, again, we need to repair the state. We need to make it more transparent, more efficient. We need a government based on results, no more the people voting because of a speech or a story, fake, of course. The fake stories are in politics, and particularly campaigning and during the elections. So we receive stories about, yeah, we did this, we did that, and the fault is from the contrary political party or whatever. So no, results. We need to talk about results. What happened with what you did? You created that program. Okay, tell me how many people you save, you trained it, or how you invest the results of the public funds invested in different needs for the people. So I think we live in a huge lie in Argentina. So we need to cut that. We need to reinvent ourselves as a society. I think that it's not just the public sector, but even the society. It's a social responsibility for everybody to be very involved and to try to change this. And I tell you something you mentioned. For example, this is a little hard because democracy is an amazing asset that we already, I think that it's forever. It's very important for us, but we are living in democracy for almost 30 years. Okay, since 1983 and today, if you see what happened, there wasn't plans, like a strategic plan of the country. So in the first democratic country government, I'm so sorry, in 1983. Finished it with a terrible emergency in 1989. So, and since 1989 to 2021, we have been living in emergency. Imagine an emergency, social and economic, of more than 30 years. That's ridiculous. And at the same time, it's something very risky and explains a lot, because under emergency, what happened is that the rules of the institutions, how to accomplish, and how to respect and make the country function according to the national constitution, breaks, because you have a very powerful executive branch taking decisions and administrating without control. You have a national congress with no oversight functions working. Even legislation, for example, 90% of all the laws that we know are originated in the executive branch. So we have a government of three parts, with a justice that is not independent, with a Congress that is not working correctly, an executive branch very powerful, doing whatever they want and just thinking about the elections. We have elections every 2 years, so we do not have a strategic planning and strategic thinking. So what you are saying is very important. Well, we need that. We are thinking about two big solutions. First, a package of laws, bills to discuss in the Congress about how to change the state. Okay, the state is a disaster. So it's working very bad, and I have no problem to say that. And we need to change the state. Okay, the mechanism and how the state works. And second, we need a strategic public policies. But and this is difficult to explain. We have the policies saying this is the situation we are living right now. Okay, the National Congress, the media, the people, social organizations, civil society, private sector, everybody, we agree that we have half of the country living in poverty. Yes, we agree with that. Yes, that's okay. We have 5 million people starving. Okay, we have 20 million poor people, all right, and all that. So once we say this, we start saying, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to do this and that and that. Okay, how are we going to do it? How it's going to cost? Which impact is going to produce? And how are we going to measure that? Because we do not have in our laws, and not even the executive branch, not even the judicial power, we do not have a register of what happened in the country. That's crazy. You know that for first time, for example, in 2019, there was for first time a law saying we need a digital record of each one of the students in the public education system. What for? Because we need to understand what happened with that student. We do not, we invest a lot of money wrongly because we implement wrongly, so the results are very bad, and we do not see the result of that investment. It's incredible that in the public system we just have 25%, as I said before, of kids that finish the school with the capability to read and to write. I don't know if you mentioned, if you listen what happened with Toyota in Zárate. Toyota
I heard
wanted
about that.
Yeah, to hire 200 basic employees with nothing special, with not special training. It's just 200. No one person could hire because of the lack of preparation, because they couldn't read a newspaper. You understand, Paul? It's terrible what is happening. We need really, and it doesn't matter the color of your political party or of, I tell you more, it doesn't matter your ideology. It doesn't matter. No. We need to resolve problems. What you need to, we need as a society to talk about the facts and about practical things. How to give a solution to all this, not about speeches, not about, I am from this political party or the other. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you belong to, politically speaking. The important, if we want to work together to get results for the people and to change the story of our country.
Yeah, the important thing here is Argentina, its people, and the future. That's what should be on the most important. That should be number one on the agenda. The people, the country, and the future. That should be number one on the agenda. Education and health.
Yeah, and work. It's very important. No, the employment. It's very important. It's the dignity of the people.
Do you see any particular politician or person with the capabilities to get this done, what you're saying now? Do you?
When we started the interview, you asked me what I have been doing the last year. So I told you about my job between 2016 and 2019, working in diplomacy with parliamentarians and so on, with all political parties. So what happened after that between the last 2 years, 2019 and 2020, I've been researching a lot. I've been, I even published a book. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to send you the book. What else? I created, and now I am deputy director of an international center for parliamentary studies, research, and perspective. It's very important to think the future also. And and I am executive director of an international studies program. We have 70% of the professors are from abroad, and just 30% from Argentina. And our students are from Argentina and from different countries of Latin America and the Caribbean. So I was investing my time and a lot in the School of Government of Universidad Austral, the most prestigious private university of Argentina. And a few months ago, Florencio Randazzo called me to be the head of the technical team for his campaign. And just 2 days before the closing of the list of candidates for being MPs, national deputies from the province of Buenos Aires, he offered me to go in seventh place in the list. It's a list of 35 because we are renovating in the lower chamber 35 national deputies from the province of Buenos Aires. So I am in the seventh place of the list of national candidates. So now for first time in my life, I am basically running as a political candidate, because I've been my full life like more a technician, and I know very well the state. I know very well what happened in Argentina, and I also know the answers, not because I am a genius. It's we are not going to invent the wheel. What we need to do is a lot of benchmarking to see what happened in the rest of the world, particularly in the successful countries, and then to discuss those tools and in Argentina, no, according to our reality. And of course, as I said, we need to say the truth about things, and we need to implement correctly. So Florencio Randazzo, we have a lot of things in common. If you pay attention to him, you will listen to him talking about real problems, saying the truth. He wants to discuss everything with everybody. And also the same I told you before about to be disruptive, about the necessity to change completely our country, to change the direction, and try to not talk about the other candidates, and to do not criticize, to just think about the present and the future. That's what we need to focus on the people's needs. So nothing. I'm converting a politician. So I'm part of this very not how can I say, it's the level of trust of the people in politicians is really low, and I think the people I agree, the people is mad, and that madness is I mean, it's completely justified. No, it's crazy what happened with politics in Argentina. We need to change the page of the story of the country.
To regain the trust of the people, and the only way to do that is by real actions and not words. Actions speak louder than words. And a lot of people, you hear some politicians talking, and that they're just blowing smoke.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that because it's a lack of education. They don't know any better. So.
But you know what happened? In some way, I'm so sorry, Paul, but in some way, at the time to vote, the people in general vote against somebody. So, for example, those who hate Cristina Kirchner, for example, and the Kirchnerism, they vote to Macri because the political force, because they say, well, we need to vote against that political party, even when we do really like the political party we are voting to, no, or for. So the same happened. People from from the Kirchnerism voting against the Macri and his political force. We need to change that logic. That's not going to help us. We will live, for decades with the same situation. We need to change that logic, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the same thing happened to Trump. One of the reasons why Donald Trump lost. I mean, it was because it was a hate vote. They said they couldn't allow themselves to vote for Trump because of the things he tweeted. And so that's why, he lost the elections, because it was a hate vote and not a favor vote for Biden. That's my personal opinion. And you only had two candidates. You know what I'm saying? In the last elections, there were 5 candidates here in Argentina. You know what I'm saying? In the US, you had 2. You had either had Trump or Biden. Here you have 5. And when you have 5 candidates, it's a lot difficult for the right candidate to win when you have a lot of other candidates. Well, let's say buying votes.
Agree. I tell you what happened in Argentina. Something very similar. For example, in our political force, it is an alliance with Consenso Federal Consensus. Basically, Lavagna, Urtubey, okay, we are allied in this new offer to the people, and basically what it's not. This is important to explain. Of course, I think that it's very important to people to inform about the candidates, to inform about everything, and to try to vote. If possible, with emotion, but also with a little of rationality. It's important. It's not something easy, because again, the people is very mad, so they don't want to listen about politics. But okay, we have elections September the 12th, the primaries, and we have the November 14th, and these are midterm elections. So what we are going to choose are basically parliamentarians, legislators at different levels. But why this is important, and this is about our political force, because Florencio Randazzo, who is the one who lead the the space. But we have in second place to a businesswoman, amazing in my opinion. If you want to check about her, it will be amazing, and we can talk next time about her. She's Carolina Castro. She's a wonderful businesswoman. She's the first woman to be a member of the executive committee of the Industrial Union of Argentina, the most powerful entity representing the interests of the industry. And we have other excellent candidates from education, from of the agricultural sector, and so on. So nothing. Why is it is important? I tell you the truth. In my opinion, Florencio Randazzo, for me, what he's saying and our proposals are like fresh air for the country, completely different about the whole story of our 38 years of democracy. Because again, we want to change, and we know how to change the machinery of the state, and at the same time, we want disruptive public policies in all sectors. But we want to do it with the people, and we want to do it with civil society and with the private sector, and of course with the other political parties, because it is necessary, because the people vote to different political parties, but focus on the solution of the problems again. And he's from a Peronism country, and you can say, okay, Peronism, I am against them, or I am in favor or whatever. But in his case, I think he is, if we receive enough votes from the people, and we have a number of MPs, sufficient enough, I mean, with not very big, but a good number of MPs, I think that we will continue building a political space that can run for the presidency in 2023, and that will happen in 2 years. And if we can do that, and we can represent this message to the people, and of course for the country, I think that we will have as a country the opportunity to do something different than the last decades in the country. And another thing very important, not just to listen to the people, to the peoples, because we have more than a country. We do not have just 23 provinces and the city of Buenos Aires, but also we have different countries, because we have different realities, right? We have rich people, we have poor people, we have educated people, not educated people, and so on. So we need to listen to everybody and to represent the interests of everybody, and in particular the public interest. But another thing, we need to offer the people the possibility to talk about what happened with what we did, or what are we going to do as politicians. We need accountability. That's very important. So we need to say, day one, okay, we are going to start. This is what we are going to do. Well, we need to explain what we did or what we didn't. That's very important. The accountability, that's a very powerful in the hands of the people. To do not vote anymore to politicians who say one thing and to do a different thing.
Yeah, I was thinking while you were saying all that, I think that the most important sector of the population that has to be informed are the youngsters, young people. I know now that at the age of 16 you could vote. Now you have to think about how many 16-year-old children really know what's going on, apart from what they see on the news, apart from what their parents say. I have 3 teenagers, 2 of which will be voting. Now, if I ask them, I say, who are you going to vote for? They're going to say, absolutely not to who's president right now. But what other option do they know about? And it's important for parents such as you, such as I, to tell our kids that there are options, that there are good politicians, and not, what you see on the news all the time, and, the comments that the parents make at the dinner table. As we know, families today, it's a family, just as you and I with, children. It's very rare, to have, a whole family setting, because all the coronavirus pandemic. It's so kids. I feel that a lot of kids good kids from good families are in limbo when it comes to voting. You know, who are they going to vote? They're going to vote for maybe who their parents think. But I think it's important to reach the young children and have them understand that there are options and good options, you know,
Sure.
apart from what they see on the news and from what they, you know. So I think the young people today are the future, you know, because
For sure. Yeah, young
and
people are
so
the future. Yes, young people are the future for sure. And you know, Paul, this is an amazing issue for several reasons. First of all, I don't think that just the young people are not informed correctly about the
well,
political
yeah,
offer, because yeah, even a lot of adults for when you are mad, you know, we don't want to listen or pay attention to something that provoke you, you know, like a bad reaction. So it's difficult for the people to study in a way the different proposals, political proposals, the political parties, and the candidates itself, because it's also complex. It's not something easy. So I was talking just yesterday about the same thing, and somebody told me, look, why you, I mean, you as candidates, everybody like Florencio Randazzo, Carolina Castro, the rest of the candidates, and even myself, why don't you talk to the people not about your proposal, but about a description about the different political parties, about the election, about yeah, objectively, no? Of course, impartial, with in an impartial way. Because I give you an example, and I was talking about that yesterday. We have fronts, no? So what is front? Front is, for example, more than one political party, all right? So you have fronts.
yeah,
For example, Frente para la Victoria, you have the PJ, Partido Justicialista, and you have other political parties in that front. For example, Juntos por el Cambio, you have PRO, you have Coalición Cívica, you have Unión Cívica Radical. And for example, we are a front also. The name of our front is Vamos con Vos. That's the name. We go with you. That's the name of the front. It's a new political alliance. And inside that, we have our political party. The name is Otro Camino. No, there is another way, another route. But we have also inside our alliance to Consenso Federal, Federal Consensus, and other political parties. So to explain that, to explain what means the PASO, no, the primaries, and well, it's because there is some complexity. It's not something easy to understand. So I think it's very important, and I don't know why we don't have that kind of information very well, I mean, spread by the government, and also we have a technical, you know, agencies for that, no? Like electoral chamber, you know, we have electoral office, but they do not do that. So probably not just us, but other political parties can do this. So it's a wonderful issue, and we are going to do something to inform better the people, their possibilities to whom to vote in these elections.
Yeah, I think that one of the best and most effective ways to reach the young people today is either through TikTok or Instagram.
Oh,
those are the main sources of spreading the word and gaining recognition, is through TikTok and Instagram. And I like what you said, Hay otro camino. Those are very those phrases have a lot of potential to be used through TikTok and Instagram, for example, because TikTok and Instagram for the young people is like the news. That's where they get their information. My kids tell me things in the news, things that they share information with me about sensitive issues, sensitive topics that you don't hear on the news. That's but right. They get through TikTok. I can't think of any right now, but they get a lot of information that people of our age don't get. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not on TikTok. You know?
Oh no, but yeah, but you are right about the channels and also about the issues, very serious issues. Of course, you can find debates in TikTok and the other social networks. But you know, Paul, this is the faster time of the world in all the story of the humanity. You know, things are happening very fast. You know, because of the technology, the way we are communicating each other. What is happening is amazing, and we are in Argentina living like, I don't know, in the old times. And it's terrible what is happening in Argentina, because those young people are going to live in a country, in a world, with people from other countries being completely different to them, because they access to better education, better, you know, with better tools, with better, of course, with better future. They can expect a better future than our kids. So, and that's really very sad, because in Argentina we are discussing the basics. So it's not enough. It's not enough, the basics. We need more than that. We need to be not just to solve the problems, but also to in some way to be successful with the challenges we are living today and we are going to live in the future. We don't know, like what happened with the universities, the careers. You know, the careers are changing every year. Even in 1 year, we destroy careers worldwide and we create new. So we need to talk about that also. It's very important.
For sure. For sure. And, you know, a lot of people think that, you know, they say Argentina, and a lot of people believe that Argentina, well, are under the impression that Argentina is Buenos Aires and greater Buenos Aires. But Argentina is a huge country, and with a lot of beautiful places like Mendoza and Salta. And I haven't been to these places, but I don't know what the social economic situation is there, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same as Greater Buenos Aires. So will Randazzo be active in these places too?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Now this new political party, this new alliance, is we are just running for the National Congress and in the legislature of the province of Buenos Aires and some other legislative bodies in the different municipalities or you know, in the province of Buenos Aires. But in 2 years, we will be at national. Our offer will be at national level, so in the whole country. For example, Urtubey is from the province of Salta, as you was governor.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, so basically, no. What we see in Argentina, that this with some differences, but we see these problems in all the provinces. So we have the problem. It's a national problem with the consequences and particularities in different provinces and towns and cities. No. So I'm talking about unemployment, lack of education, the social problems like starvation and poverty. So this happening all around the country. Of course, we have the richest cities like the city of Buenos Aires, but for example, in the city of Buenos Aires, we have people living in shanty towns. We call them now like poor neighborhoods. It used to be called shanty towns, and it's like a ugly word, so we don't want to call them that way anymore. But the truth is that we have and from 10 new people in Argentina, 7 of them are coming in Argentina, in the city of Buenos Aires, for example, are coming to live in the city to this kind of neighborhood. So imagine,
they're growing.
In the province of Buenos Aires, it's even worse. We have in what we call the Great Buenos Aires. And so basically, particularly in what we call the first section and the third section, we have all the percentages, all the statistics about poverty, about lack of education, about starvation are worse than the rest of the country in Great Buenos Aires. Great Buenos Aires is, you have the city and you have inside the province of Buenos Aires, like a lot of municipalities close to the city of Buenos Aires, like 52% of poverty, you know, and of course the In the province of Buenos Aires, we have 8 electoral sections or political sections. One is just one city, the number 8, La Plata, and then we have 3 more like urban political sections, the 1, the 2, and the 3rd, and where in these sections the problems are completely different than the ones of the interior of the province of Buenos Aires, not where we have 4. We have the 4, the 4th, the 5, the 5th. I'm sorry, the 6th and the 7th, and more rural. You know, we have a mix between urban and rural societies, but the same with the different poverty. You know, different unemployment, but we have the same problems. But the important that this is another very important thing. We need solutions, but not general solutions like the same for everybody. No, we need to work more. We need to be more efficient and to provide solutions for each problem and each population with its particularities. That's another thing very common in Argentina. So you have a social program for everybody, the same program. In fact, the results are bad because it's bad designed, the public policy, and bad implemented. So everything is bad. So the results are going to be, for common sense, bad. So that's another thing very important. It's not the same to talk about the country unique, like everything is the same thing. No, we have different problems. For example, young people leaving the country, well, that belongs to middle class. That do not belong to the poor people, because the poor people is not thinking about leaving the country. They are thinking about survive, you know.
They're thinking about eating tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing very important. We need to focus on problems and solutions.
I know you're not you're not an economist, but I wanted, there's something that I when I talk to people from from the US or foreigners, and there's one thing, how can you explain 21% VAT? How do you explain 21% VAT EVA and on food? You know what I'm saying? For example, I grew up in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia, we had 6% VAT. So everything that you buy, you pay 6% tax, except food. You know what I'm saying? Food has no VAT. How do you explain 21% VAT? And
I can give you, thank you very much for the question. I can give you an answer, but I don't need to be an economist for give you the answer, because the same answer I can give you if somebody asks me about inflation, for example, or even about the public debt, or whatever. The problem of Argentina is a problem of expectations. It is a problem of a lack of or a lack of trust. All right, a huge lack of trust, bad expectations, a lack of previsibility. Okay, we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. All right, and that happened all the time and for decades. So all this generates a state desesperated for basically for their income. All right, so what the state needs is if you pay taxes, for example, and you formally are registered in our tax authority, the tax authority is going to how it's like an orange, when you are preparing
squeeze you. They're going to squeeze you.
Yeah, it's going to squeeze you. And we have something we say in Spanish. The AFIP, basically AFIP is a regulatory tax agency, is all the time like hunting, in a zoo. Why is hunting in a zoo, we say in Spanish? Because you know that 60% of the people pay taxes in Argentina, 40% don't, exactly. So the problem for Argentina is that all this untrust, all this lack of expectations, all this problem with the what is going to happen, the uncertainty, all that generates a great disorder. So everything is crazy because we do not have discipline in any sector. So we have 21% of VAT tax, for example, the VAT for in food. It depends which it's not for all products, no, but in general, and that's a tax that who paid everybody, including the poor people, you know, the food, because when you buy something, you pay that tax. Even when the provider of the food, a lot of them is not paying that tax that you pay. They are collecting that, and they are not giving the money to the state. So this is like the jungle, you know. It's like the jungle, Argentina. And you know, one of the animals and the most risky and violent animal is the state. This is a jungle, and the state is part of the jungle. Okay. So that's why we need to rethink our society. We need, and particularly the state. If we have an state, I mean a government, but a state, because the government are the one who manage the state, but the state is there. If we have an state at all levels, different, better, serious, you know, everything is going to change. So there is not magic here. We need to be correct. We need to administrate, and our public policies, everything should be correct. So of course you have that VAT, because we have a state that's desperate for money.
I feel as a worker, as a person who works, you know, legally and pay my taxes, for the past couple of years, I had been saving up, saving, a little bit saving to buy a used car. And finally, I bought a used car a couple of months ago. And when I went to transfer the car in my name in Greater Buenos Aires, I paid 20,000 pesos in taxes. And I was like, what? 20,000? And I had to get, it cost me like almost 26,000 pesos, because I had to get the motor verified. I had to get the little numbers on my windshield. I had to get this, I had to get that. So I paid 20,000 pesos in taxes. And I asked the woman, I said, what is this 10,000 pesos? And she said, that's for the stamp. And I was like, what stamp? So I felt like, wow, man, I'm being punished, for saving and saving. And finally being able to buy a used car, I felt like, man, you're being punished for buying a used car, because now you got to, boom, pay this tax. And I don't, and I thought, wow, man, I'm not buying, a helicopter. I bought a used car. And I didn't buy an import. I just bought a Volkswagen.
Do you know why this happens? Because everything is interconnected, and it's important for people to understand. If it's this phrase that I told you about: bread for today, hunger for tomorrow. If you hire people in the public sector because you want them to resolve the unemployment through the public employment, for example, if you give to the people in poverty social plans, social subsidies, and so on, without training them for a new job, so you do that for decades. That's very expensive. So our state is each day more expensive. You need more money each day. So you have a huge ball. You have a fat state with rendering very bad services to the people. So that stamp is just, what you are seeing in that stamp is a fat state with no chance to do a good job, with no chance to win the race, for justice, for progress, for all we need in a country normal, for saying in some way. It's a shame. It's really a shame. That's the point.
Instead of making it easier for people to make progress, they make it more difficult for people to make progress. When I arrived here, I thought that I found this place to be a land of opportunity. And for me as an English speaker, and given my skills, because I received an education, I'm capable of doing many things. I said, wow, this is really a place of opportunity for me.
Mhm.
And it has been, but it's been, an uphill battle. It's not like, I'm sailing on the ocean, on a lake. You really have to struggle and move and work and yada yada yada. And it shouldn't be that way. It should, if you work, things should be easier for you. Now,
Exactly.
if you
Be
work,
in
things are going to be difficult for you,
in a normal country, in a normal
in a
country,
no, yeah, in a normal world,
in a
man. You know
normal.
what I'm saying? So that I feel that has to change. People that work should be given more opportunities. People that want to work or people that want to open a business should be helped and not, punished. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I
So,
have good news. I have good news because the what is happening is so serious that I think there is no more room for continuing doing the same thing. I have I am feeling that something must change in Argentina because
yeah, yeah,
look what is happening, for example, with employment. We have 49%, as I told you, of active people working in formality. So the unions, their members are these people, no, with the formal jobs.
yeah, yeah.
So not so because of that, because of the level of unemployment, we have now social movements. That's the name of the they represent to the people informal, all right, or directly unemployment.
Yeah.
um, so now what happened, they were for decades the social movement saying, okay, we want to negotiate more plans and more plans and receive, for example, Kirchnerism was pretty bad, giving a lot of social programs to the people without training
Yeah,
them for a better
yeah,
future. But Macri was even worse. He increased 3 times the level of subsidies to the poor people without giving them really good tools for their future. And you know what happened now? The people said the same people, the poor people, is saying this 20 million people is saying, well, this is not enough. No, we can't. It's not enough. Not even me, my couple, my uncle, my kids receiving these subsidies. We cannot live with this. This is not. There is no dignity in this. So, and they are asking to the leaders of the social movements for jobs, for real jobs. So what is
yeah.
happening is nobody's
That's
happy
good.
now. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. Not the unions, not the social movements, not the people in particular. The important part of
Yeah,
the country, the people
yeah,
itself. So in my opinion, something is going to change. I don't know how, but I want to transmit hope to the people, and yeah, we need to change this. Politicians are just thinking about the next campaign, about the next election, and they are focusing that and not in doing the right thing. We need to change that for sure, for sure.
yeah, yeah, for sure, Tuan. Yeah, I hope let's I wish you the best with that. I know you're working hard to that. I hope to be able to do my small part, whatever I can to for the sake of the future, our children, your grandchildren, and the sake of this country. Because, like I said in the beginning, it's a beautiful country. It has everything you want. Actually it's a country. We are privileged actually to be living here. We have privileges. We have privileges that other countries don't have. You know what I'm saying? And it's and we have to take advantage and try to salvage these privileges for the future generations. So
But
yeah. So
we have
I
a
know.
wonderful country, Paul, and we can do
Yeah,
it
I know.
better. I'm sure about that. We can do
Yeah,
it
I'm
better.
sure. I'm sure we can. And like I said, I think it all begins with education, health, and good leaders and good examples. You know, you There's a phrase, you educate through examples, or you teach through examples. You know what I'm saying? And we need good examples. And I know that you're a fine example of a person who, you know, who works and
Thank you, Paul.
everything else. So I wish you the best with that. And of course, for Randazzo and his whole team, I have my faith. I put my faith in you, and I hope other people do too. Uh-huh.
Thank you very much.
So let's.
I would like to talk to you again, and
Yeah,
particularly after the elections, and if
for
we
sure.
if we have the possibility to represent the people in the National Congress, I will also like you to control us and to talk to the people about what happened, about this talk, and about the
Yeah,
future. Yeah, I think that this is very important. We need that. We need that.
yeah. Also, you know, being part of the American community and being part of the expat community,
Mhm.
I know that there are a lot of foreigners here. And as the days go by, I meet more and more people. I know that there are Americans living in Cordoba. I know that there are Americans living in Villa Gesell. I know that there are people from London live in
That's right.
places, and these people vote, okay, because these people vote, and these people have they have families, they're raising families. Most of them have Argentine wives, Argentine couples, and they have Argentine children. And so it's important. I mean, our talk, I hope our talk
It
can
will be
reach.
amazing to talk to them. We want to talk to everybody, but particularly we want to listen to everybody. So if you want to
Sure,
organize a meeting, it will be a
sure.
pleasure for me, for Florencio, for the rest of the candidates to listen to the people
Yeah,
about
for
their
sure. You know,
views,
I
about their
have a
perspective.
yeah, you know, I have a Facebook page called Gringos in Buenos Aires that has a lot of members, and most of them are foreigners that live here. You know what I'm saying? So it would be good if we can organize something. You can talk to these people, and they, you know, and they can share their views. You know,
Yeah, it will be amazing.
about their struggles, their challenges, their frustrations, and why you know their faith in this country and their love for
Yeah,
Argentina.
I remember Jason, like, I don't know, several years ago. Do you remember that he lived in Argentina for 2 years?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
one
yeah,
day
yeah.
we were talking and he said, "May I be honest with you?" Yes, of course. Okay, I don't want to offend you or your country. And I said, "No, of course. You are a brother. Say whatever you want to say." And he said, "Well, it was really unbelievable. Those 2 years were impossible for me. Were dramatic because the functioning of the society, I faced problems with the, I don't know, the taxi driver, the commerce, with with the tax, with the accountant, in everything. And I said, no, I understand. Yes, we I understand that it's not normal. Don't worry, you are not offended me. But yes, that's why I think the opinion, the views, the perspective of people living in Argentina, but being from abroad, foreigners, I think it's very valuable. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
valuable to listen to everybody, but yeah, it will be amazing to listen to them, of course.
yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes I read comments, you know, I've tried, and unfortunately I have to leave Argentina. You know, sometimes I comment, well, only the strong survive. And it shouldn't be like that. I mean, you don't
True.
have to be you don't have to be, you know, indestructible to live here.
No, of course.
You should be just an average person trying to live an average life. You don't have to be, you know, indestructible.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't be that way. You know, in a country as rich and with so much potential as
Yes,
Argentina. So
exactly.
well, let's see what happens, man.
All right,
Let's
Paul.
see
It was
what
amazing
could
the
happen.
talk. Thank you very much. Thank you very
No,
much. I
my
enjoyed.
pleasure, Juan.
I enjoyed.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool, man. I appreciate your insight, the information you shared, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Amazing. I would like to visit you in Villa Gesell if you move there.
Ah, sure. Yeah. Anytime. I mean, I moved there in November, and I'm here in the city now. And yeah, for sure. Whenever you're in town, you're more than welcome.
Okay.
And we can chat on the beach.
Of course. Amazing. So
You
greetings
know,
for your family, please, to your wife and your
that
kids. All right.
Thank you, Juan. The same here, huh?
Okay.
And have a good day. Enjoy.
You too.
And full steam ahead. Huh?
Okay.
Like a locomotive train.
Exactly.
Full steam ahead. Como they say here, siempre para adelante, nunca para atrás.
Yeah. Perfect.
Full steam ahead. All right, Juan.
Amazing. Take care. Take a rest, and greetings again to everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook right now. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make omelets for the family.
Enjoy it.
All right, Juan. Have a nice day, buddy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, bye.